day here at the Waterhole. My name is Amy and I will be with you for the show today. And what a way to start off the afternoon with this beautiful herd of elephants. And we are actually going to head over to Kenya right away as we're having a few problems with this feed. Apologies for that, everyone. We are going to work on getting that feed stabilized for you, but so beautiful to come up here to Ozono Lodge and see these giraffes once again at the Waterhole. And it has been such a beautiful scene here day after day, looking at the blue skies with the white fluffy clouds and these gorgeous giraffes that have been hanging about.
A reminder to you all that this is a live and interactive show, so you are more than welcome to send through your comments and questions to me. And you can do that by sending through those comments and questions on X using the hashtag WildEarth, or you can pop through them on the WildEarth app or via the website. All right, everybody. Well, exciting times. There is a feeding time at Victoria Falls. So let's go see if we can catch those vultures while they have a snack. And it is indeed a feeding frenzy here at Victoria Falls Safari Lodge. Now, what happens here, for those of you who may not be aware, is that at 1 p.m. Every day there is a feeding scheme from the lodge where they put out some of the leftover sort of meat and bones and things like that from the kitchen. And it's all to help conserve these endangered animals, to make sure that they have a safe food supply. Well, it was great while it lasted. We have had to come back up here to Kenya. But no worries, still beautiful to see these giraffes feeding. Oh, wow. This man seems very thirsty. Probably the most committed drink I've seen in a while, really sticking his whole mouth into the water. Tao, so good to hear from you. You say hello, Amy. Thanks for saying hi. I'm so glad that you're able to join us again, and I do hope that you enjoy the show this afternoon. I can also hear plenty of starlings. I heard a greater blue-eared call there, and I think there are some superb starlings around too. But for now, for the most part, you can actually see the oxpeckers that are hopping between the giraffes and the water. Sammy, you say you love the birds on the giraffes' necks and heads. They are very, very cool. They are indeed oxpeckers, red-billed oxpeckers. And they always tend to arrive with the giraffes.
Better is more than a word to us. It's a commitment to conserve our nation's precious landscapes, oceans, and wildlife. It's more sustainable fishing and farming practices, jobs and prosperity for our communities, and access to clean drinking water for all. Better is believing that together we can make a difference. For nature and for you.
apparently we have sorted out the feed, everyone. Let's head to Tao to see that herd of elephants. Well, it looks like some of them are already moving away. Maybe they'll have a drink on that side. Sometimes they do enjoy drinking there. Lots of little ones as well, everyone. Look at that. Lots of babies in that herd. Just looking at what exactly these Ellies are doing here. They just had a pause. And now there's one walking this way. I'm not sure what they're looking for. Now there used to be quite a bit of water there. But maybe there are one or two little pools in between that we can't actually see. But elephants are also able to dig, so they may actually push down some of the mud, and then there may be water that rises up, which we wouldn't be able to see from this distance. It does look like that one in the front left is using her foot to push into the mud. Have a look at that. Her trunk and her foot together, and they are moving some of that out the way. And it looks like she put some of that mud in the mouth, unless there was something in there that we couldn't see. I just saw her sort of a clump of ground fall from her mouth. Very interesting behavior, this actually. Lillian, you are asking if female elephants have calves at the same time for the safety of them, and sort of a safety in numbers concept, I'm meaning, and no. So they don't coordinate their births. Although it does happen that sometimes females will give birth at similar times. You'll have babies of a similar age in a herd, but they don't coordinate. So they don't all give birth, for example, once every 2 years at exactly the same time. It's completely staggered and random. So you'll have babies throughout the year being born, and they won't necessarily all happen at the same time. And that is because they don't really need that safety in number element. Like, for example, impalas, they all have their young at the same time because there's safety in numbers. The more calves that there are, the less likely that all of them are going to be taken out by a predator. There may be quite a few of them that are predated on, but there will be enough that survive. Elephants, on the other hand, have size and sort of their size is their advantage. So because of that, they don't really have to worry about too many predators at all, and they are capable of defending and protecting their little ones really well, whereas something like an impala isn't really capable of defending and protecting their young very well. Now, often we actually also see quite a few different species here, and I haven't been able to even spot a zebra today yet.
We are celebrating World Water Day with a 5-day special. Immerse yourself in exclusive live at the Waterhole content. Keep up with the wild waters of the world with special guests. Tune in for live drives around the deep dive into our watering holes. Dive in this World Water Day with WildEarth.
Well, one herd of Ellies has decided to still enjoy a mud bath here with us. And this has been so much fun. Everyone, wow, that little one has been in and out of the mud, enjoying it. Oh, someone gave the nod that they needed to get out the area, and all of a sudden, the matriarch has spoken and they are on their way. It is incredible how they listen. Keith, you are asking about adult elephants. What age do they become mature and how long do they naturally live? Now, there's no difference in species between elephants that you'd find in Addo, which is a reserve in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, and these elephants that you're seeing here in Madikwe, or elephants that we see within the greater Kruger areas where we have cameras, or even up further north in Africa. They all Loxodonta africana, which is their scientific name. And the age that they mature, Keith, it is, I suppose, sexually mature anywhere from about 12 years old or so, in terms of for a female being able to fall pregnant, and for a male, similar but a little bit later in terms of actually the hormones starting to change, testosterone building, that sort of thing. But for males, they are much more suppressed, so they would only really be mating with females much later in life. We're talking 25 years, depending on the reserve, depending how established the community of bulls are. But sometimes only 35 years is when that they'll become a dominant bull or have the mating rights with the female. So that's sort of the maturity range for them. But then if we look at age, their natural lifespan in the wild is anywhere from 50 to 60 years. It can sometimes be even a little bit longer than that. And Keith, interestingly enough, that age of the elephant is actually determined by the sets of teeth that they have. They have 6 sets of teeth. A few lucky ones may get a few extras in a 7th set, but that usually, if we average around 10 years a set, that sort of gives them their lifespan, because once those teeth are completely worn away, they can no longer digest and eat their food, and therefore become malnutritioned and etc. So the body just eventually gives up the ghost, as it were. Joanne, it is so true. Elephants are fantastic mothers. It's something that we often admire about them, how much they care for their little ones. It's how you say you love the elephant babies. They are extremely cute, aren't they? Just. Such interesting behavior. I just got caught up there watching actually all these elephants sort of turn around and face this way. And I wonder if they're just deciding to rest here. Maybe one or two of the little ones are actually going to lie down. That's when we usually see elephants stand like this. In fact, is there one already lying down? I'm not sure in between them all there. It's a little bit difficult to see. Oh wow, there is a massive male elephant now coming in from behind there. Yesterday we spoke a little bit about the things that we look for to tell us the maturity or indication of somewhat of the age of elephants, and just have a look at how big this bull is in comparison to those females. Even the biggest female there, the matriarch on the far right, is nowhere near the size of that bull. And if you have a look at his tusks, look how broad they are coming out from the side of the face. Alright everyone, well it has been lovely here at Tau, but we are going to head back up to Odono Lodge and check on those giraffes. Well, it looks like they've all sought out some shade today. Moved off under this umbrella thorn, really one of their favourite spots for not only giraffes, but also I've seen a few elephants use the shade of that tree before as well. Now it's interesting if we have a look at these giraffes. I've just been watching their behaviour. They're all looking off to the right hand side at the moment, barring the one that's just walked this way. And what we've seen over the last few days is by far a large proportion of these giraffes being males. And today was the first time that I could clearly point out at least 2 females that were here within the herd. And I think that might be one just standing to the right hand side. And I think what's happening, you can just see that male also bending down a bit there. And often when a female's coming into season, there tends to be this congregation of males that happen around a particular individual, and those males are all attracted to the scent of the female. She's giving off constantly chemical signals, we call those pheromones, and they will be attracted to that scent. And so when it is time to mate with her, they're all in the vicinity. And it's why we've been seeing some of the males actually bumping heads, what we call necking. There's a constant sort of rivalry between them to determine who's the most dominant. And right now, nothing too serious. She's probably not fully in estrus yet. So they're just making sure they're in the right area for now. And then when the time comes, we'll actually maybe see it, or it will happen that a male will actually pair off with her and attempt to mate with her. Well, everyone, it's beautiful to see this elephant come walk down and have a drink here at Otoño, and I'm sure we'll come back if he's still around, but apparently there is a cat at Tau, so let's go see that. And there it is, everyone. I can see a male lion there just behind that tree. Now, we did hear reports. We were looking around to see if we could see anything, but I think when a cat lies flat in the heat of the day, it is impossible to spot them unless you just about either walk on top of them or drive on top of them. So we're very, very lucky that he sat up for us here. Fingers crossed that maybe they'll come down for some water. If there is maybe it's just one. Right now I can only see one. And it looks like a young male. Can definitely see a bit of mane there around the neck. Now this is actually really interesting because a little bit earlier on when we came back here for the elephants the second time, I actually mentioned that I didn't see any other animals around. Usually there's quite a few zebras, kudus, impalas, even warthogs all scurrying around in the background. But today there was nothing, and I immediately thought, oh, that's strange. That's why I pointed it out. It's what I observed that was different from the norm. And now we know why. And it actually makes perfect sense to the reports of lion in the area. And now we can confirm it. There's indeed a lion here. And it makes sense then that all those prey species moved out of the area. Oh, there is another lioness. Okay. This could be a mating pair, everyone. I think we're going to have them mate. Yep, there we go. Fantastic. I know that they're super far away and this is the best zoom we've got, but there we have mating lions. This is fantastic. They probably might move now. It's the one sort of sighting that we know can actually happen in the middle of the day. They tend to mate multiple times very frequently when they are mating. And they may actually break away for 3 or 4 days, just the two of them, to make sure that the mating is as successful as it can be. And did everyone see how that worked? So what happened is that the male was resting under the tree and the female actually comes to initiate the mating. So it really can only work once the female is happy that she can be mated with. So she actually came in front of him and presented towards him. And that present we mean by actually turning around and lifting her tail, putting her backside towards the male, and then he knows that she's accepting of his mating. There are some ellies moving now just across, but they actually, I think, are very far away from those lions. So really only elephants that are going to be comfortable enough to be in the same vicinity as lions. And these mating lions quite honestly aren't interested in anything else. You can just see how far away we are from them. That's incredible. What an amazing camera. Absolutely amazing.
Out in the wild, life moves fast. To capture the action, you've got to be in the right spot at the wrong time. Now, incredible animal behavior, selected from amazing amateur and professional footage, to reveal the secret lives of animals in motion. This is raw nature, caught in the act.
Well, I don't think these lions are going to be moving anywhere anytime soon. So why don't we head over to Olifants River and just check out what's happening over there. Well, there's a hippo in the water, but there's also a pied kingfisher, everyone, just on the right-hand side, on that top of that tree, sort of dead stalk. Maybe I shouldn't call it a tree. But that's really beautiful. I think it's actually hunting in the river. So it's just perched there now, sort of in the middle of the screen on the far right-hand side. And I love a pied kingfisher. I think they are so beautiful, completely black and white, but really stunning. And they do some awesome hovering moves in the air when they are hunting for fish in the water. Any moment we might see that kingfisher actually dart down into the water. But I'm loving the sounds here at Olifants River. We can hear so many birdies calling. There's a chin spot batis. Crested barbet. Water thickness, and then the sound of that flowing water as well is just beautiful. All right, well, a beautiful full river flowing here at Olifants, but we are going to head over to Naledi Dam and see if we can find some feathered friends. Now, yesterday we had a whole group of ellies here around this waterhole. You can actually see where they've been walking so much. It's actually made a lower sort of step down around that well. The ground is sort of washed away there a bit from all the animals coming around. I see a blacksmith lapwing here. But we are going to, I think, have a little bit of a scan and see if we can see any other little feathered friends that may be coming down to the water to drink, or perhaps perching in the trees. Tadiwa was just saying to me how we sometimes don't pay much attention to blacksmith lapwings because we see them all the time, and it is actually very beautiful. You can see when we were close up like that, it is really a pretty bird. It's got the black and the white, but it's also actually got a bit of grey on the wing. It's not completely just black and white. Apologies for that frozen camera there, everybody, but we have come back up to Old Donyo Lodge, where there are some giraffes now who have come back to the waterhole. I think that elephant has moved off, and there are also 2 young male impalas. RJT, you say, hi everyone. We are so fortunate to be able to view these sites, and even more so to live in an age with such great technology, with magnificent zoom capability cameras. Well, thank you so much, RJT. We appreciate your words. And yes, we are so fortunate with the technology that exists today to be able to really make WildEarth possible. Without technology, we wouldn't be able to broadcast to you live and share the things that we are able to, and it's fantastic that we can do so. We were speaking about oxpeckers earlier, and there we have a really good view of one that's come down for a drink. Oh, and a good view of giraffe hoofs as well, and some starlings.
This is On Safari. Now remember, this is live and interactive, so we'd love to hear from you.
To be having these incredible experiences in this wild underwater forest.
It was just one of those things which I don't think I'll ever see again in my life.
Thanks for joining us on our Sunrise Safari.
Well, everyone, we are here in Namibia and enjoying a quiet, peaceful scene as always at Okukuyo. Oh, that springbok has its tail up. I wonder if its stomach's working as it's walking. Almost looking like a warthog there for a second. All right, everyone, we are going to head back up to Kenya as we have the feedback. Well, it looks like there are still giraffes around here. And it looks like some swallowtails there as well. Plenty of other little butterflies or flying creatures that are busy here at Oldonyo as well. Well, there we have a picture that was sent through to us by Nat, taken right here at Oldonyo Lodge, everyone. And what a magnificent photograph that is. You can see that this bull elephant, first of all, those tusks are amazing. And you've actually got a clear day where you can see Mount Kilimanjaro in the background. So what an absolutely beautiful picture that is. And to any of the viewers who are watching, feel free to send in photographs just like this one if there's anything special that pops up on African, or perhaps you're able to take photos like this yourself, then please do send them through to WildEarth. We'd love to hear from you, and you may also be featured just like Nat on the show. Well, it's nice to have these butterflies sitting still for us a bit here, everyone. And I seem to see 2 different species at least. There's some citrus swallowtails that are there at the moment, and then some of the darker ones actually have a more turquoisey green color, and those are green banded swallowtails, a little bit more black. And when they fly, you see more of a turquoisey color on that one actually there, with the darker color there in between the lighter ones. That would be a green banded swallowtail. This giraffe has a beautiful coat, everyone. Wow. That camera work, we can really get an idea of how gorgeous he is. He's even got some freckles. Look at that. Just above his eye on his forehead. I think that's the first giraffe with freckles I've ever seen. Now I've just noticed, everyone, something very interesting about this male giraffe. Have a look at his eyes. And do you see that there's actually not too much of an eyelash there? This is the first giraffe I've ever seen that doesn't have beautiful eyelashes. We normally comment all the time about that feature of giraffes. It's almost like he's pulled them all out.
Are you a wildlife fanatic, glued to YouTube for your daily dose of animal antics? Then welcome to Africam's wildlife community. By joining our YouTube memberships, you get no ads, just wild live streams, chat with other bush fans, get early access to exciting camera spots, and flex your wildlife knowledge with fun quizzes. Visit Africam's YouTube channel and click the join button now.
We are just having a little scan around, everyone, to see if there is anything hiding in the bushes around that we have missed. Always need to make sure. Sometimes we are really lucky and get to see some very beautiful birds. Yesterday we actually had cutthroat finches here, which was really awesome. I must say, my first time seeing on the show. So that is a bird that, as the name suggests, I know it's not the nicest image to think about, but these little finches actually have a red band. The males have a red band underneath their necks, which looks, where if someone was ever to cut a throat, that would be where they would cut it, and it's incredible. It's red and everything. So they've named those birds cutthroat finches. There was a brief glimpse, I think, of a long-tailed paradise wider there. It may drop back down, but I did see a very sort of a smallish bird with a very long black tail. So that would be my guess. But there are a few other doves around. There was an emerald spotted wood dove. There are Cape turtle doves as well as laughing doves. So plenty of them coming in and out of the water. Oh, there's a birdie on the tree there. I think it's an oxpecker. A few oxpeckers. Ooh, bird of prey in the sky. Good luck, Nadine. Oh, incredible camera master. It does. Oh, it does have its legs out. Usually that means it may be coming down to perch. Oh, so tricky to say exactly. It does sort of have the look of something like a tawny eagle with that fan tail. But some sort of a brown eagle there, I would say. perhaps 20, maybe even a brown snake eagle is quite high. Could even be what's the other name that I'm thinking of? A warburgs, but the tail wasn't quite right, and also they are more down in South Africa, Southern Africa at the moment. So I would think maybe tawny eagle on that one. But nonetheless, a bird of prey, and we did manage to actually have it on the camera for quite a while. So well done, Nadine. That was amazing. Cheetahs and other animals, you are loving the close-ups of this giraffe. It is beautiful, isn't it, when you get to just see more of the details like we would if you were actually seeing this giraffe in person, close to the vehicle with binoculars, and you're able to zoom in on its features and really get to see more details. Now it's going to bring back up its cud. There we go, back into the mouth. Dark Main Lover, thank you so much for always sending through a message of appreciation. It is such a pleasure to host the show, and I'm so glad that you are enjoying it. This particular giraffe has quite a dark coat, and it's often spoken about the different coloration in giraffe. Does it have to do with male testosterone levels? Does it have to do with age and that sort of thing? And this particular male doesn't look too old. He's also kind of quite skinny still. He looks in good nick for the most part. But there is quite, especially on his back, those markings are quite dark, and even the lighter sections in between the markings even go quite dark on his back there. And just having a look, generally this group of giraffes have quite beautiful coats, so the genetics are coming through in that way, to show that they have these sort of more dark, distinguished coloration between them. And there are a few of them that have little sort of white socks on, that's coming through on some of them as well. Not completely different species or anything like that. They all are the Maasai giraffe, but there is a little bit of the lighter sort of ankles that we can see are coming through in the genetics of this particular area. And there we are, that's what I was talking about. So not all the giraffes have this sort of little feature, but it's something that I've noticed in more than just one. The way that the coat actually fades towards the foot. And what an interesting foot it is of a giraffe. It actually doesn't look that big there. It almost looks very similar to a cow hoof. But a giraffe foot is very long, and it's the difference between the one of the main differences when you're looking at tracks. There's really not too much else that you could confuse a giraffe track with other than a buffalo, because of that cloven hoof shape. But a giraffe's just so much larger, so much longer. And like I say, in proportion to the giraffe, that hoof doesn't look that big. But when you see a track, you realize just how massive that hoof actually is. All right, everyone. Well, we are going to show you a little clip now of a caracal that came to visit. Well, this is right here at Altonio Lodge, everybody. And I'm loving these nighttime clips that we get to share with you of what happens at these locations when we aren't live. How cool is this? Let's come down for a drink. Oh wow, and there's a white-tailed mongoose as well. Very cool. Not an animal that you get to see too much on the show because they are so strictly nocturnal. Oh! I don't know what happened there. What was the mongoose thinking? You cannot take on a caracal. But it has no fear. I think the caracal got such a fright, oh my goodness. It was not expecting a visitor. I can just imagine that caracal hissing at the mongoose. Not sure what this mongoose is trying to prove. Well, that was fantastic. Oh my goodness. What an awesome video. And so cool to see that interaction between a caracal and a white-tailed mongoose. Gino, you say that's amazing, isn't it just? You say you're watching this all the way from California in the States. Well, thank you for letting us know, Gino, and I'm so glad that you enjoyed that. I definitely did. I've never seen that before. But wow, I'm just trying to actually understand what that mongoose was doing. Maybe it got a little bit possessive over the waterhole, didn't want the caracal around. Mongooses are predators as well. They do hunt and they eat, they're carnivores, they're carnivorous. Not that I would ever think a white-tailed mongoose would take on a caracal, but I suppose in a way they are similar in size, caracal being a little bit bigger, but there was just, I think the caracal was so taken aback, a little bit shocked that there was this other creature, almost stepping on its tail there. But I don't think that mongoose wanted that caracal around. Maybe because it has little ones or it's breeding in the area.
If you are a driven nature enthusiast with a background in communications, then this message is for you. WildEarth is calling for volunteers to moderate our web and social media chat platforms during our live broadcasts. Do you keep up with the latest trends on social media? Do you have quick fingers and a sharp eye? Then we're looking for you. To apply, email your CV to us at jobs@wildearth.tv. Join the WildEarth team today. WildEarth, connecting with nature.
Well, we have been checking to see if there's any other things to spot around here at El Doño. So far, just some doves that are fluttering about. But everybody, what a day at the Waterhole. Wow, it really has been fantastic. Thank you so much to everyone who sent through their comments and questions today. And Mating Lions, who would have known that we would have seen that? I definitely wasn't expecting that for the show today. So very, very cool indeed. Sandy, you say that was cool, just starting your day, and hope you have a great day. Thanks, Sandy. You as well. We are now finishing off here at Live at the Waterhole. Next up is On Safari before we head into your live sunset safari coming up at 3:30 p.m. But from me, everyone, that is it for today. Live at the Waterhole will be back tomorrow, as always, the same time, same place, and I will see you all next week.
Are you excited to see me? And excited for some highlights? This is On Safari!